definition of international trade is trade between countries throughout the world. Generally, international trade refers to the sale and purchase of goods and services between two or more countries and can take three forms: export, import, and interport. Furthermore, international trade is a factor that drives a country's GDP growth, and it has a favorable impact on the economy, society, and politics. In Islamic perspective, Islam strongly encourages commerce in order to increase people's well-being and to promote economic growth, which is one of the most essential aspects of a country's economy. Muslim traders are required by Islam to observe Sharia standards when conducting business. The Quran emphasizes the significance of mutual gain and reverence between buyers and sellers when conducting business. In Islamic economic interactions, the most important values are amanah, trust, justice, fairness, and equality. There are some problems in handling international trade. Firstly, dumping of imported goods occurs when an excess quantity of items is imported from other countries at lower cost. Tariff imposed on commodities that have crossed national boundaries contribute to the strong demand for local items. This is because tariff restrictions will increase the price of imported goods. Next issue is unemployment will occur in the country because demand for imported goods and services is higher than domestic goods in services. Therefore, firms will reduce employees as a result reduction in demand for domestic goods. The third issue that balance of payments accounting is an often misunderstood and misapplied method for tracking the flow of imports and exports in our economy.
We have analyzed information from 2 articles and 1 book. In Article 1, we analyzed that trade financing is one of the financing services offered by Islamic and conventional banking. This service is provided by the bank to meet the needs of domestic or foreign trade financing. International trade financing operation in the banking system play an important role in the economic development of a country either through import or export financing facility. Next, in the Article 2, based on what is stated in this article, modern Islamic finance emerged as an attractive alternative that operates almost on par with the conventional segment and is increasingly accepted before being disrupted by the rise of Islamophobia around the world. For example, China expressed interest in becoming an Islamic finance hub after Hong Kong sold $1 billion of USD worth of Islamic bonds or sukuk at the end of 2014. In Book 1, theory predicts international trade and economic growth mechanism and causes. One may wonder long-term effect of the United States and Japan current account surplus and deficit. When are trade imbalance helpful? Who does it benefit? Rising tide lift all boats, including those without docks. What set interest rates, trade balance, and exchange rates? Capital market investing is affecting a business cycle. Are trade means for benefit of developing countries? Can free trade harm everyone? This book aims to unify issue with international trade.
Based on the articles that have been analysed, it can be interpreted that from the Islamic perspective, international trade refers to the sale of goods and services between a country and another country in the form of exports, import and interports that comply with Islamic principles. In Islam, we as Muslims must conduct this international trade by complying with all the principles of Sharia that have been set in Islam and stay away from all things that are prohibited in Islam such as riba, because riba is an operation without thinking of the welfare of the consumer, and in Islam any operation is strictly prevented. Otherwise, to solve the issues that arise during international trade, we have recommended alternative solution. This solution requires the cooperation of both the government and the community. For the government, they need to increase the production of commodity products and exports, and also diversify economic resources so that it is not focused on just one type of commodity. Besides that, the government also must find export markets in regional countries and the world. Next, for community as well, they should prioritize to buy local goods so that the dumping of imported goods in the market does not make a profit.
I would like to present about a plan to solve the problem of international trade. The issue of dumping of import goods is one of the problems that occur in international trade. According to Islam, trade must be free and following the Sharia principle. trade restrictions are allowed, but any policy action must be allowed and carefully considered before the implementation. The way to overcome the problem of dumping of import goods is by imposing trade restriction. The first restriction is tariff. Tariff on import goods are called barrier tariff. Tariff are divided into two types, namely ad valorem tariff and specific tariff. Tariff also can be an effective way to change the condition of trade. The second restriction is quota. Quota are government-imposed trade restrictions that limit the amount of monetary value of commodities that a country can import or export in each period. Quota also are used in international trade to help countries regulate the quantity of trade they do with each other. When a lot of import goods enter the country, it will affect the local industry in the country. Therefore, local industry should limit labour requirement due to the low demand for domestically produced goods. Then, there will be a rise issue unemployment among the people. The government took the initiative to solve this problem by imposing public policies such as a tariff. Furthermore, the use of tariff imposed by the government on import goods will affect the price of import goods, for which the price of import goods will be more expensive than local goods. As a result, demand for local goods and services will increase. Therefore, it also encourages a country to export the goods and services to other countries. In turn, it also be able to solve the problem of dumping import goods in the country. International trade has not only raised the issue of dumping of import goods and unemployment issue, but it has also caused the country balance of payment to be deficit. That's mean import exceed export. So, the solution to solve the issue of balance of payment deficit is use fiscal policy, that is, tax and government spending. The combination of taxes and government expenses can define in a fiscal policy as either automatically expansionary during downturn or contractionary during upturn in economic activity. Macroeconomic policy tools are designed by government to provide a stable economy. In this situation, contractionary fiscal policy is used to solve the problem of inflation that affect household life. Their finance as consumers become increasingly burdensome when the rising cost of living occur.
So, in conclusion, even international trade stimulates the GDP, but in Islamic perspective, it still needs to be done by adhering to the principles of Sharia that have been set in Islam and always look after the welfare of consumers during the international trade. Therefore, to solve the issues or problems that exist during international trade, the government and the society play an important role. They should have awareness and responsible to solve the issues that arise during international trade. So, that's all from our group. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.